Hello dear listener and viewer, my name is Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe. Welcome to this episode of Mogobe's Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. Today I'm going to talk about a brand new subject, something that I think will enrich you and will empower you. As always, I want to bring exciting and new content to you that will be of benefit to you as an entrepreneur in Botswana. Today I'm going to talk about 10 nuggets of wisdom on why entrepreneurs should move from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. The first nugget of wisdom is that it is basically an abundant planet. If you consider the number of trees we have, the animals we have, and the fish in the ocean, and if you look at Africa in particular, and you consider why Africa is still considered the richest continent in the world. So I believe that with that mindset of abundance, we as entrepreneurs in Botswana and elsewhere can go places. Number two, the creator. In my view, the creator is a creator of abundance. If you look at what God has created, everything is done in massive quantities. If you look at the size of a blue whale, for instance, the number of elephants that go into a blue whale, it's massive. Scientists are even telling us that there's no single universe. We have multiverses, and that the Milky Way is but a tiny portion of the entire universe. So it seems to me that our creator is a creator of abundance, and we have to think abundantly as entrepreneurs. Number three, it is better to cooperate with nature than to go against nature. Nature gives everything in abundance. Nature is always generous. Nature is always ready to give. So as entrepreneurs, we should be ready to give of our energy, ready to give of our resources, so that we can make the most of our businesses and our communities. So number four, there is an abundance of money. I strongly believe that there's an abundance of money, and I'm constantly listening and hearing from banks and hearing from even other institutions like pension funds that there's a lot of resources, there's a lot of money that is available. The money is just looking for ideas and resources and entrepreneurs who can deploy that money. So this is the opportunity for you as an entrepreneur to narrow down your focus and identify an idea that you can tap into all these resources that are available and make the most of them. Number five, it is more difficult to succeed if you are concerned about scarcity than if you are concerned about abundance. For instance, just a simple act of giving, you have to open your hand to give. So that is the idea of giving, as opposed to being scarcity minded, where you are afraid to share and you are afraid to be part of the rest of the community. So my point here is that abundance goes with giving and scarcity goes against giving. Number six, abundance, I believe, is our birthright. No one can ever say that they were born with limitation. Every person I've met wanted more or ought to have wanted more. It's just that they were limited by their thinking, and they allowed the world to beat them down and to think small. Everyone. If you look at books such as Think and Grow Rich, if you look at books such as The Magic of Thinking Big, even if you look at Ramahang's book, The Magic of Perseverance, there's talk of abundance. There's talk of the need to open our thinking so that we can think in terms of taking full advantage of the resources that are at our disposal, instead of worrying about the little that we have acquired for ourselves. Number seven, as children, we think in terms of abundance when we are small. What am I talking about? If you look at your child as he's learning to crawl and then to walk, there's never a time that we say to the child, you've made enough attempts to crawl or you made enough attempts to walk. No, we think in terms of the abundance of opportunities that are available for that child to walk. We keep asking the child to walk and walk and walk. Even those children who are slow to talk, children normally talk by age 2. But if for any reason the child drags on up to age 2.5, up to age 3, we never say you've made enough attempts to talk. We never say you've tried enough. Now it's about time you stopped giving up on your attempt to talk, to walk, or to crawl. Similarly, as entrepreneurs, we must think in abundant terms. We've made one attempt, we've made 2 attempts, we've encountered 10 no's, 11 no's, 15 no's. We must think in terms of abundance. There's no limit to our capacity to keep trying until we get to our goals, until we get to what we want. So it is an abundance mindset that will help us get to where we want. Number 8, Just look at the stars. Just look at the universe. Just look at the building behind me. It talks of abundance. It talks of hugeness. I mean, look at the I Towers, the tallest building that we have in the central business district of Gaborone. It speaks of abundance. It speaks of largeness. It speaks of significance. So I say to you that that is how the universe is. If you do not limit yourself in terms of your thinking, in terms of your ability, you will get to the highest level, as indeed this building and its owners demonstrate. Number 9, abundance is part of Setswana culture. You say to me, why are you saying that, Mogobe? Abundance is part of our culture in Botswana. Why? Because we say that molomu ojang roha omong, suggesting that there's no limit to what you can share when you are enjoying something. We say that in terms of the spirit of Botu, and I will spend time in a future episode talking about Botu and how Botu is part of successful entrepreneurship. But for present purposes, what I'm saying that there's abundance contained in the concept of Botu, and in this concept in our culture of sharing, in our culture of being your brother's keeper, being your sister's keeper, and all the rest of it. Number 10, even in religion, we know that it says in the good book that the number of people who are going to be saved is unlimited. I think that somewhere it says there's going to be 144,000. But it also continues to say that the people that are going to be saved, the elect that are going to heaven, will be without number. I know I'm throwing religion in when I was talking about abundance, when we are talking about business, but in my view, you cannot separate your thinking. In my view, your thinking should be intertwined. What you are at work, what you are at church, what you are in business should be one and the same. So abundance finds its place in religion as well. In a future episode, I'm going to talk more about abundance, and I'm going to develop this concept a little further. But for present purposes, know that it is a biblical concept to think in terms of abundance. The good book says that the Lord has come so that we can have life and have it more abundantly. Number 10, I always give you a bonus, dear listener. Number 10 reason why you should adopt a mindset of abundance as opposed to a mindset of scarcity is that way you'll be priming yourself for exponential growth. You'll be priming yourself for explosive growth. You'll be priming yourself to think in terms of more resources, more employees, more wealth, and more money, and more limitless thinking. So I say to you, dear entrepreneur, dear listener, dear viewer, that it is all about abundance. If you're going to succeed as an entrepreneur, you must move yourself from scarcity mindset to abundance mindset. Thank you so much for listening to me, dear listener. That is all I have for you in this episode. In a future episode, I will develop this concept a bit further. But for now, please like what you're hearing, and please subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for your attention.